everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my TV and movie wrap up for the month of July and August. So I watched about like 7 things in the last 2 months, which I feel like is pretty good. I watched a lot of TV and a couple of movies. So I'm just gonna jump straight in and I will start with the TV shows first. So the first thing that I watched in July and August was Unorthodox, which is on Netflix. And this was shortly after I got my wisdom teeth out, and actually I didn't watch anything while I was healing up from my wisdom teeth. I think I just was rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and stuff and reading maybe. I don't really remember. But I didn't like watch any new TV shows or anything like that. I didn't binge a lot while I was recovering. I watched Unorthodox shortly after. And this I hadn't really heard much about. It wasn't really on my radar. I was just not feeling the greatest and I felt like I wanted to binge something. There were only 4 episodes and this is like a mini series, so I just thought this would be easy to binge, and I did watch the first episode and I was pretty interested, so I just kept watching. This just follows a young woman who is Jewish and she leaves this arranged marriage and her super like religious community and family to start a new life in a different city. Super interesting, super different. I think this is also based on a real story. The acting was really well done, and I think this was also nominated for an Emmy. I honestly don't have much to say about it because I did enjoy it and I thought it was done really good, but it's not something I would ever rewatch. I don't know a lot about Jewish people and their religion and all of that, so this was a little educational and it was interesting to see just the way that they lived and how their marriages are. It's also so shocking to see how this woman, when she leaves, how like there's so many things she doesn't know about and like has to learn. That was so interesting as well. It was definitely something a little different for me to watch and I did enjoy it. The next thing that I watched was Unsolved Mysteries, which is also on Netflix. I only watched the first 4 episodes. I stopped before the UFO episode. I don't know why I just didn't continue. I might continue watching the show when they release new episodes, but in the meantime I just watched the first 4 episodes, I think. And this was really interesting. I didn't know if I wanted to watch it because I don't like watching scary things or like things talking about murders or missing people. Like sometimes that just creeps me out and it scares me like I'm a big baby. It also doesn't help that I live alone and that my house always makes weird noises just because like it's an old house. So anytime I watch anything scary, I can't sleep. I just feel like all I do is hear weird noises and it creeps me out. So I just like, I literally can't watch scary things. But I watched a few of these episodes during the day. It was actually in the morning. So I feel like I was okay. I also like how they included like a French case in a French episode. That was really interesting as well. Obviously all of the episodes are really sad because it's about like missing people and murders and stuff, so it is sad, but it's so interesting and it's done really well. I enjoyed the way that they had the format of the episodes and stuff like that. Yeah, and I probably will continue later when they release more episodes, but yeah, I'm not huge on like mystery shows or like figuring out murders and stuff like that. Like I'm not huge into them just because they do scare me a little bit. How many times am I gonna say interesting in this video? I don't know. Now we get into the good stuff. I binged all 7 seasons of Sons of Anarchy. If you've been following my channel for a while, you probably know that I do love the spin-off Mayans. And I have been meaning to watch Sons of Anarchy literally since 2014. Since the final season aired, I have been meaning to watch the show and I finally got to it. But obviously I love Mayans so much, I knew I was gonna love Sons of Anarchy. It's so weird now that I have watched Sons of Anarchy. I see so many different things in Mayans and I pick up on so many things that happened in Mayans that kind of connect. Anyways, so I watched all 7 seasons of Sons of Anarchy and I love the show. I am obsessed with it. I couldn't stop watching. Bear in mind, I knew the ending going into the show. So I knew how it would end. That wasn't a surprise to me or anything like that. It was just seeing how everything happened. Obviously, I didn't know of. There were also 2 other deaths, or I think 3 other deaths that I knew were going to happen as well. But this show is just amazing. The writing and the acting and the music and everything about this show is just amazing. I never realized that it was inspired by Hamlet until I watched a few interviews after, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Especially if you look at like the final episodes, you go, this is Hamlet. And even in the beginning, you see like references or like similarities to Hamlet. I love Jax Teller. He definitely in the beginning is like this guy who's just a little lost. Like he loves his family and the club, but he's a little lost, and you see him kind of grow into a little bit of an anti-hero, I would say. But I really love him, and I think everything he did, he tried to do for his family and for the club. I love him. I don't know. I feel like the first 3 seasons are my favorite. I feel like season 6 is probably my least favorite. I could probably go on and on about the show and like talk about each season and how I feel about it. I definitely think that a specific character deserved better. I'm not going to go into that character because I don't want to spoil you if you haven't seen Sons of Anarchy. If you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? It's on Netflix. Well, it's on Netflix Canada anyways. In the final episode, I loved how Jax burned everything. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. I just loved that because I feel like he ended that cycle, and I feel like that was the best thing ever. And I don't know why that made me like so emotional to see him do that. Obviously, I knew how the show ended. I could pick up on all of the foreshadowing and all of like the small hints or small details that would eventually lead up to that ending. I just feel like Kurt Sutter and the rest of the writers did a fantastic thing with the show, and the writing is truly amazing. I feel like Sons of Anarchy is definitely going to be that show for me that I'm gonna want to rewatch quite often, just because I feel like there are so many things I probably did miss and I didn't pick up on the first time. And I feel like I need to go back and watch it again. I also feel like I need to rewatch Mayans now too, because I'm sure I'll pick up a lot of things that tie with Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, I loved the show and I just thought it was amazing. And there were obviously moments where I hated pretty much every character and I was angry with everything, but in the end, like, you can't help but feel fond of every character. Even with all the shitty things that they each did, you just still felt for all of them. I do wish we could have saw what eventually happened in the end, because that would have been kind of interesting. But I understand the way that they ended it, and I feel like that truly was a perfect ending. I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like it had to end that way because it would have never, because you would always be wondering more. Even though that ending is so fucking sad, I just feel like it was the perfect way to end the show. I just loved it. Also, that final episode, I just keep thinking about it because, like, knowing how the show ended, I could just pick up on all of the things that made it clear what was going to happen, and it just, I don't know, I loved it. I love the whole show. I feel like I can't fully explain how much I love it and all of my feelings. I feel like I could probably sit here for hours and just talk about the show. And if you don't know what Sons of Anarchy is about, it just follows this biker who is part of this motorcycle gang, and he is balancing between being a father and doing the right thing and also being an outlaw. So after binging 7 seasons of Sons of Anarchy, I then watched Lucifer season 5A, which is like the first half of season 5. There were 8 episodes for the first half of season 5, and I loved it. It was so nice to be back with these characters and to see what they're up to. It was definitely nice to see Lucifer and Chloe have kind of a turning point in their relationship. I also loved this whole like new plot line with Michael. He's really freaking creepy and weird, but I do think like it's an interesting storyline to go down. Sorry, my camera died, but I loved the black and white episode. That was really fun and different. I also knew exactly in that episode who the killer was. I could just see it. I'm trying to be very vague so I don't spoil anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, and I loved the 8th episode. That was really fun, and like the ending was really exciting. I can't wait to see where the rest of season 5 goes. The first half of season 5 of Lucifer was fantastic, and I'm very excited to see where the rest of the season goes, and hopefully we get the next episodes soon. 2 other TV shows that I have been watching are QI season R, which I did also watch in June, but I forgot to talk about it in that other wrap up. I've been watching episodes of QI and I finished all of season R, and I know that 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown is back, and I have watched I think 1 episode of the new season, but I only think so far there's only a few out anyways. Yeah, I always love watching those British game show variety shows. They're always really fun, and they definitely put me in a great happy mood. Okay, now on to movies. So I only watched 2 movies in July and August, and that was Gabriels Inferno Part 1 and Part 2. I have done video reviews for both of these movies, which I will link down below. I rewatched Part 1, which I think this was the 4th or 5th time that I have watched Part 1. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. And Part 2 had just come out at the end of July, so I watched that. If I were to rate it, I think I would also give it like 4 stars. I definitely did love Part 2 a little bit more than Part 1, just because it was a lot cuter and there were like more coupley stuff in it. I don't know, I just really loved it. Gabriels Inferno is a Passionflix adaptation, and the book is written by Sylvain Renard, and it just follows a student and a professor who fall in love but also sort of have a little bit of a past. I love the books. I've talked about the books a million times on my channel, and I'm really enjoying the adaptation so far. If you want to know all my thoughts on Gabriels Inferno, I will leave both of my reviews down below, but obviously I really love the adaptation and I can't wait for Part 3. The last thing that I'm going to quickly talk about is hockey. So hockey is back, and I did watch a few games. I am a Montreal Canadiens fan, so I obviously watched all of their games, and sadly they did not make it to the next round. Yeah, we made it to the first round of playoffs, and then Philadelphia beat us, so sadly we did not continue. It feels weird also to be watching hockey in the summer. Like it's kind of strange. But that is pretty much it that I have watched in July and August. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you watch like 90 episodes of a show in a couple of weeks, it definitely takes up a lot of time, and it's definitely a lot to watch. But let me know any TV shows or movies that you have watched recently, and if you have any recommendations for me, leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!